Yeah, I like that, man. So going off of some of those perspectives, I know one thing you really like to share is kind of your cowboy perspective on things and kind of growing up around ranching and all that stuff. So is there anything that kind of really stands out to you that you kind of like to share about that whole cowboy perspective of things?
Oh, well, just a lot of them come to mind. Probably the best one is building a team with your horse. Like that's a thing I learned
Mm.
and was taught and had to figure out, and it ended up being so valuable to me in business, well, in church, in teaching the softball girls how to play softball. There's just steps to it. You have to kind of pick good players. Then you want to build trust. Then you need to have experiences together. It works within teams of a company as well. Just that cowboy relationship with a horse, and even not having the same languages, right? I need to learn their language. They have to learn my language a little bit.
Mm.
It turned out to be just so valuable to me, and I've said so valuable about 29 times, but it really works well in life. And for those of you who don't know, and I really appreciate Trevor lending me this platform to kind of tell you about the Cowboy Perspective podcast. You can go over there and listen to it. There's episodes with my dad, my mom, and a lot of other people that have just mentored me along the way, or I look to for guidance. An example is a guy named Jay Salmon. I mean, he's not a cowboy, but he paints cowboy watercolor, and he's been
Mm.
the CEO of Sony. I mean, he's done some really
Oh,
cool
cool.
things, and he definitely has a cowboy perspective. Although he doesn't call it a cowboy perspective, he just calls it his perspective. But it has grit, it has grind, it has failure, it has success. That's the cowboy perspective. If you're out there working cattle, you're going to live all those truths. You're going to get bucked off, going to have to get up, get back on the horse. You're going to have a baby calf die, which is sad. You have to, okay, but we're still all here and mama's okay. And let's just, there's so much there that just parallels life in a lot of ways.
I like that kind of that sense of grit, and I feel like that's something I follow this website. It's called The Art of Manliness, and they kind of talk about that stuff a little bit. How you've got to have grit, you've got to, I don't know, lace up your bootstraps and just get at it. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people are. I don't know. As we go towards like an easier way of life, I mean, I'm guilty of it. We got DoorDash. Life is so simple now. We're kind of losing that edge. Like we're losing that kind of dealing and persevering and just kind of getting through it all instead of just like everything should be easy. We shouldn't have to struggle through things. And I mean,
Right,
I'm guilty as
Trevor.
that just as anybody. So
Yeah, we all are. I am.
oh yeah,
I,
yeah.
I don't want to wake up at I don't want to wake up at 4:30 and go to the gym. I don't want to. Pretty much every morning when that my eyes come open and I look at the clock, I think, I can skip. But then I sit there and I just get myself up and I go and I sweat and I'm sore because I want to practice doing that.
Mm,
So when I have to, I'm in practice. I'm capable. I just did a thing called 75 hard. Spent 75 days working out every day, 2 workouts a day, drink a gallon of water, read 10 pages of a book, um, follow a diet. I took a cold shower with it. And I think people kind of look at me and think, oh, man, I don't know. This guy's a little bit off plumb. He's not really, I don't want to do that. I'm not really saying you have to. I'm saying I choose to because when the hard
mm.
times come, I want to be in practice of fighting myself mentally to keep going, right? Because if you don't practice that and then, you need to find it, it'd be like any sport, even podcasting. If I don't have conversations pretty often, I can't just spur up and go be a great either guest or a host. I need to stay in practice. I need to come up with new things to talk about, new perspectives. Anyways, I'm rambling a little bit, but I think it's really important for everybody to think about that a little. Just challenge yourself. It doesn't have to be with a workout, it could be with writing Write that book you've always wanted to write. Now, damn sure do the 30 minutes of writing you need to do every day. When you don't have that option, you have to do it. And it doesn't matter if you write a page or not. You might just write one sentence, but you did the work.
Yeah, that's the important thing. You did the work, and I think something that's really tricky, especially if you're like trying to get back into it, is like kind of getting that rust off and know that like it's not going to happen instantly. Like it's going to take a while. It's going to take a little bit of while for you to get in the groove of it. But I mean, once you kind of go through that building block, you're going to hopefully kind of see some, I don't know, some growth. And you're like, okay, I should keep doing this. And then not just give up at the first instance of you're like, this isn't doing anything.
Sure, it just made me think that's the cowboy perspective, right?
Mm.
I never, as a kid, woke up one single day in my life and thought, we don't have anything to do. We had something. Farming and ranching has something to do every day. There is never a, and if there happens to be this one unicorn day where there's nothing to do, guess what? A water line's going to bust, or a cow's going to get out on the road. It's gonna, who knows? There'll be something that messes that up. That's why most,
Hmm.
I don't know. I bet farmers and ranchers take zero vacations. I mean, they just don't. They love the thing they do so much. I've got an uncle. You can't talk him into leaving town because he knows every morning he's got to feed the bulls, and he just will never miss that. Now, part of it is he doesn't want to leave town. He doesn't want to go be around a bunch of people at some reunion or whatever it might be. The other thing is that's his routine. It's really just no
Mm.
days off. I'll hashtag that on my Instagram pretty often, like hashtag no days off. That's a
No days off.
reality for businessmen, people that are going for anything. You could even professional athletes. I bet you could ask
Hmm.
Tom Brady about his days off. He doesn't probably take a lot of days off, or I don't know. That's just the first one that came to my mind.